Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. What a beautiful day it is on this Thursday. I am Portia Wheatley. I am the founder and the president of a nonprofit organization acknowledged as Trophy of Life Incorporated. And we have the great opportunity to render hope, encouragement, and inspiration to individuals across the whole wide world. And we're so glad about it. Let me bring in my co-host.
Hello, everyone. I am Takara Swan, and I am so happy to be here with you on this beautiful Thursday. We have a very wonderful, vivacious guest today. But before we bring her on, I want to remind everyone to please go to our YouTube page, like, share, and subscribe so that you can help us bring hope, encouragement, and inspiration to the entire world.
So we really welcome you, and we're really glad that you join us today on this platform, acknowledged as Project 365. But before we release our guests to the platform, let me leave this nugget with you today. You are not merely here to make a living. You are here in order to enable the world to live more amply, with greater vision, with a finer spirit of hope and achievement. You are here to enrich the world, and you impoverish yourself if you forget the errand. That was good. That was good. We can't forget what we're sent here to do. Well, today I have a long-time friend to join me on today. It's amazing how we can lose connection over the years, but when we do reconnect, we pick up just where we left off. And today I want to welcome Crystal Carnegie to our platform, and she's going to share today about dealing with multiple deaths. I can only imagine the strength, the posture, the endurance that is needed to even get through a situation of one death, let alone having to deal with multiple deaths. But that was her experience, and she's going to share with us today what it took to get through, what happened to her experience, and she is going to leave us with a message of hope, encouragement, and inspiration. Thank you, Crystal, for accepting our invitation to come, and you have the platform.
Thank you so much, Portia. I'm so glad to be here with you and Takara on Project 365 today. I hope that what I have to share today will help someone in their walk, dealing with multiple deaths. My story started, I'll just start with 2015. March of 2015, I lost my second brother to cancer on the 30th of March. And then following him, my dad in May of 2015, my dad tells me he thinks he had cancer, so that by November 2015, I lose my dad. So that's an 8-month time span or a 7-month time span in between the two. Then May of 2018, while I'm trying to still figure out how to deal with the loss of those two, I lose my mother, May of 2018. So in the course of all of that, you know, a lot of anger sat in. I didn't so much withdraw myself from people, but I kind of stayed to myself, and I was trying to deal with the multiple deaths. And I just told the Lord, I said, Lord, I don't understand, because, you know, I was praying and I said, I didn't know about my brother having cancer. So when my dad started telling me he had this cancer, I just started praying. I said, Lord, I don't understand. You know, I've never really had to deal with this. And I said, I'm just here. And I said, I'm just going to see what happens. And as I began to pray, my prayer was, Lord, let your will be done. In the course of all of that, I was hearing different testimonies about how the Lord had healed this one of cancer, that one of cancer. So, you know me, the go lucky, I'm I'm like, okay, Lord, if you did it for them, you can do it for us. So I began to pray and I began to seek the Lord. And then probably around about October, things started to shift and things started to get worse, so that by Thanksgiving morning, he was gone. And so I just didn't understand. I didn't. And so I just kind of stayed to myself a little bit. And then I began to realize that even with that there is no timeline for me to heal from it. And during that time, I realized, I said, well, Lord, I just need to go somewhere. I can't do this. I need to go somewhere. And I was trying to figure where did I want to go? Where could I go? Because I was still working. And so I know that following his death, that I had a couple of weeks where I didn't have to be at work because it was our winter break. So I just took that time, that 2-week span, and just did a few things, and just prayed, just read scriptures on grief, on healing. And so I started my process of healing following his death. And then I had talked to different people, and they were like, well, death has no timeline. And we've heard these things over the years. So I found myself at that point, sometimes not necessarily ignoring family and friends, because then I started hearing words like get over it, or words, you've had enough time. And so, me, that wasn't what I wanted to hear. And then I realized that only the Lord can give me the end time when I need to be healed. And then I realized that even with all of this, it's a personal thing. We all don't grieve the same. And I was alone because I was like 2 to 2.5 hours away from family. So it was just me and God. So I had to rely on him. And then I realized that, I'm going to cry, and that the tears that I cry, crying is a natural emotion. And crying also helps to deal with those difficult feelings that we have on the inside of us. And there were times when I didn't find myself crying uncontrollable, but I found myself crying like here, there, here, there. But in the midst of all of that, it was a time for me. I realized that even in the crying, that it was my healing process, that it's a process that you have to go through. And just know that when you're going through the process, that you got to trust God. And that's what I did. I trusted him to bring me out of all of this. And then 2018, well, Lord, 2018, I thought I was going to literally die when my mother passed away, because, I had a good relationship with my mom. My mom she was surely saved. She was surely saved. And I know without a shadow of doubt where she is. And I realized that. I realized that even in her passing, I know that she's in heaven. I know that she's with the God and Jesus that she lived her life about, that she taught us in Sunday school about, that she prayed about. In the middle of the night, I could hear her praying, not just for her children, but her grandchildren, her great-grandchildren, and all of that. And I was just like, well, Lord, how do I get over this? We're right back where I started. How do I get over this? And then I realized that sometimes you have to have your own personal prayer time, because that's important. Instead of talking to everybody else, and that's okay if you want to, but instead of talking to everybody else, you need to talk with the Lord. Let him minister to your broken heart, because when she died, my heart was truly broken, and then I started finding resources, like free resources that could help, I went to the internet, was looking on the internet, typed it all in, because there are free resources out there that we can use. And then I started talking to my pastor because she's been through it. She understands and she knows. And sometimes, even if you can't talk to your local pastor, you can find a licensed minister who you can speak to and share your feelings with. And they can help you, or they can talk you through something. They may not be able to do everything for you, but they can give you some insight and they can give you some go-to. Then, and I want people to know that if you have to, it's okay to talk to a mental health professional. That is important. Even if you start with your own physician. I started with my own physician, and I explained to her what was going on, because at the time when my mom passed, I wasn't able to sleep. I couldn't sleep. I was having trouble sleeping. I would lay down and I would, boom, wake back up. And I told her, I said, look, I need something to help me to sleep. And so that it's okay. If you need that, that's fine. If you don't need it, that's still fine. But talk to somebody, do the research. There are Christian medical professionals out here. And if you need to talk to a Christian medical professional, they are probably better than just talking to a regular mental health professional. So, that's okay. Talk to a social worker. We have social workers that are saved. We have social workers that can lead you to the right place. So you can talk to them as well. Contact your local DSS, Department of Social Services, tell them what you need, tell them what you want, and they can move you forward. There are also support groups that you can be involved in. So, and most local funeral homes offer grief support. Start there. Again, do your research. Go to the internet, find a support group. That's important. And for so long, we just been prone that when after somebody passes away, that we just deal with it in our own way, or we deal with it through church or that type of avenue. But there are other avenues. As we get older and as we become more wiser, we find new avenues to help us to get through our process. And what I did was I went to the Bible and found every scripture that I could find on grief. Every scripture that I could find on grief. And I began to read them because they were important. They were very, very important. I read those scriptures, and some of them became my favorite scriptures. So I would read them on a daily. And even now, if I get to a low point in my life, I'll go to those scriptures. I'll find those scriptures and say, well, Lord, here I am again. You never want to just stop. You never just want to leave it untreated, because you do want to, you want to realize that it's there. It's going to be there. And that there is hope. There is hope that you can get past it. You can climb over that hill, that you don't have to stay there. You can get up and you can go back, or you can go to your regular schedule of doing things. You can find new things to do. So there is so much that you can do. And then, you want to, there are stages to grief. There are stages to grief. And a lot of people don't realize that. Look that up, find out what the stages are. Also, you may not be in all of the stages of grief. Sometimes you may be in one stage and just stay there. Sometimes you may not be in any of the stages, or you may be in all of the stages. But take your time in dealing with the stages. Take your time in dealing with the stages. And, you know, you may not, even though they give you stages, you may not deal with those stages like 1, 2, and 3. You may do 1, 5, and 4. You may want to do 1 and 3, 2 and 4. So just to let you know that, you know, things don't necessarily have to be the way that we see them. And then what I've learned too is when you lose someone that you love, we have to learn how to live without them, but to live with the love that they left us. And that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to live with the love that my parents left, that my brother left. But basically, get in those scriptures, have a prayer life, you know, talk to someone. And from there, they can help you move forward into the person that you would like to be. So that's my story.
That is wonderful. I so appreciate your transparency. And you said so many facts. One, I want the audience to know that, yeah, situations like this, cancer, different sicknesses, happen to the saints.
Yep.
I don't know why people think that once you give your life to the Lord, you know, you're not going to be sick at all. I mean, it is God's will that we don't be sick, but we're in our natural body. And you talk about your mom, and you know, you remember my mom. I'm like, I still tell people, I believe she was the holiest woman to walk the face of the earth.
Yes.
So, you know, you think the same about your mom, because we saw the life that they lived.
Yes.
But yet they passed away because of some type of sickness. But like you said, we live with that love. What they taught us, that's what we live with. And then we think, God, all these people, I can give you a list of some that if you would like to take them.
Yes.
I can give you, but you decided to take ours. Why? I don't know. I don't know. But again, it talks about that. Now, someone that may tell us or tell you to get over it, evidently they have not experienced the loss, the depth of loss in their lives. And now someone that gets over a relationship really quickly, or whether it's mother, father, sister, brother, daughter, whoever, if they get over that relationship really quick, I mean, it may not have been a really great relationship, but those relationships that are quality relationships, it takes some time to get over. And we pray. Oh, yes, we pray.
Yes,
but
we do.
We still have that depth of loss. It's something. It's something else. And just like you said as well, with the crying, it's going to come here and there. I know it's been about 6 years for my husband that had passed away. And every now and then, I think of something that was just so amazing about him. And sometimes the tears still come. But God gives us the grace to go through it. Now, if we get stuck in it, now that's a state of depression or a state of we can't stay there. Still we embrace what we're feeling. I tell my widows, when they have a moment about regarding their husband, or the husbands regarding their wives, embrace that moment, even if it is something that brings about tears. Embrace the moment, cry if you have to, but embrace it and move on. Embrace it and move on. But last but not least, that therapy piece. Oh my God. Oh yeah. And you know, sometimes, let me laugh it out first before I say. Sometimes you wonder for believers, sometimes you wonder when you see some individuals dancing like they're fighting somebody. I'm like, oh, she needs therapy. He needs.
Well, you're wrong.
Okay, let rewind. But you think about it. And when you can sit with yourself, sit with your situation, embrace it, get the help that you need. And I'm speaking to myself as well. Get the help that we need.
Right.
We can live life more abundantly. We can live life more peacefully. So I thank you. I thank you very much for sharing your heart, because I can imagine when you've gone through some of those experiences that you did go through, and once you get through them, it's our responsibility to reach back and help those that don't have the strength to go through.
Right.
So I think, yeah, it's very needful to get the help that we need and move on in life.
Right. Exactly.
You know, so one thing about death, like death is inevitable, you know, for all of us. And and none of us can escape it. None of our loved ones can. But grief is something, I don't care who you are. Grief is something that everyone will experience. And grief should be something that brings empathy, you know, to our society, and it can unite us, it should unite us, and we should all be just a little kinder, you know, more kind to each other, because of the process of grief that we have to go through. And I just want to, you know, just reiterate what you said. You said some really good points. And you know, there really is no rule book to grief. Now there are plenty of books out there that, you know, help you, you know, do this to cope with it, but there's no, like, you know, rule book, like you have to do A, B, and C, and you know, you're going to experience 1, 2, and 3. No, everyone grieves differently. And there's one thing you said, I just want to, in regards to that, you know, since we all go through grief, how about we just try to put ourselves in the person's shoes, you know, if you are not the one grieving, and let's calm down on some of these comments that we say. Oh my goodness, I can only imagine some of the things that have been said to you. And I know I know quite a few astounding things have been said to me in my process of grief, and I'm like, how could you say that? Stop being so nosy. You don't need to know all the details of what happened to, you know, so and so. No, how about we have empathy for each other? And you say, you know what, I see you're going through some pain, and I am here however you need me, however you allow me to be. For me, I found that that's the best way to go about doing that, because everyone grieves, you know, so differently. And I also want to say that, you know, that whole therapy piece is so vital. Like we're really going to have to just break the stigma of like therapy, but therapy really can help you through grief. She's a testimony of it. Portia's a testimony of it. I am. You know, sometimes when you are ready, and you will get to the point where you want to talk about what has happened, or talk about, you know, how the person meant to you, or just memories, or, you know, anything you're going through. Everyone's going to get to that point in some way in their journey of grief, of wanting to talk about it. And having a therapist or a professional to talk to is the best way to do it. And of course, you know, we're all believers right now. And like you said, finding a therapist that does believe in the same things that you believe in is, I think, a vital key to it. So for those who may be watching who are not believers, and you may have a different, you know, a different faith, look and see, you know, if there are therapists out there or specialists that do believe in what you believe in to help you get along through your journey of grief. And there is no time limit. So people that tell you get over it, you tell them to hush it and just keep it, like, just hush it, keep it moving, because whether they've been through it or not, they're going to. And they would not want you to say to them, oh, you need to get over that. What? No, I don't care if someone I love passed away 85 years ago and I'm 1002. You don't tell me to get over it. I'm going to get over it when I'm ready, you know, when my body's ready, when my spirit is ready. So I just want to put that out there, guys. Let's just be more kind to each other. And I also just want to say, lastly, you know, embrace whatever stage that you are in. If you need to cry every day for 5 minutes, because that's just what your body's like, hey, we have to get this out. Embrace it. Don't hold it in, you know. I've experienced some loss in the past couple of years, quite a bit. And sometimes, I'm having a great day, and sometimes I may think of something that was a good memory and I just bust up crying, and I'll have my little moment to myself. But like, I'm talking about not the, oh, they were so nice. I'm talking about, oh, like I need a tissue, like
The ugly cry.
You like, girl, are you okay
Right.
with the ugly cry? I'm fine. I just gotta get it out.
Just gotta get it out.
You have to get it out, and it's really unhealthy to keep in bottled emotions.
Yeah.
So whatever phase that you're in, I just would like you to just embrace it, because once you embrace it, that's when it gets a little easier to go on. And also, let's just talk one more thing about feeling guilty. I know a couple people who felt a little guilty because they lost a loved one, and they were, moving on with their life. They were sad. They were, they were accepting it, but they were like, I feel guilty because I'm happy. And I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure your loved one that passed on does not want you to be unhappy because they're not here, so don't feel guilty about it. Like I said, death is something we all experience, and it is okay to continue to live. It's okay to just not walk through life, sad. No. Go through those phases, but it's okay for you to remember your loved ones and still to go on and live your life. So
exactly.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Crystal, what do you have that you can share, a thought from what your father may have left you for life, as well as a thought from what your mom have taught you from life, for life?
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Yeah.
But basically, my dad and my mom always said that they always wanted me to continue to live my life even after they're gone, because I am a reflection of them. And for those that don't know, my father was one of the original Zioneers of Princess Anne. He sang in a quartet. And my mom, well, she was the Sunday school teacher for 40 years, and all we knew was Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. So both of them would want me to, they wouldn't want me to stay down. They would want me to continue, and they would want me to try to help somebody else. So that's what I get from both of them. I get a lot of stuff from them, and every now and then when I'm talking, I can hear my mom in me, or when I'm talking over here, I might hear my dad in me. And then when I look in the mirror, I see both of them. So I know that I'll always have them, no matter what. And then every now and then I hear something in my ear that one of the two might say. So I just say to continue to walk, and to continue to get the help. If you need to seek out some help, please go and talk to someone. Don't keep it bottled in. That's the one thing you cannot do. Don't keep it bottled in. Go talk to someone, talk to whoever you need to talk to, and try to get the help that you really, really do need.
Good. To our audience, this video, this broadcast has been so therapeutic. And I pray that you would share this with someone that may be going through a hard time because of death in their family, or death of a friend, just death, period. Because when you think about what's going on in society and in our world, just the stigma of death can do something to your emotions, to your psyche. So I ask that there may be times when it is not time for you to say anything, but have the opportunity to play this video. And then you sit back, and then if that person has questions or just want to talk, talk to them. If they don't want to talk, it's just not the time for a conversation. But this right here, Project 365, have brought to you a message that will give you hope, encouragement, and inspiration. And we're thankful to God, because if we know without a doubt, this will help you. All right. Thank you so very much, Crystal. I appreciate you. God bless you. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we will see you again tomorrow at 1 p.m.